You wake up before sunrise. The ship is quiet. For the first time in 2 months, the ocean is calm. No storms, no screaming wind, just the slow creak of wood and rope. You climb onto the deck, and then you see it. Land, a thin line on the horizon, dark, endless, covered in forest. Someone whispers the word, America. After 66 days at sea, you finally made it. But the moment feels strange. No cheering, no celebration, because everyone knows something. Getting here was the easy part.
3 hours later, the anchor drops. The small boat takes you to shore. The water is freezing. Your boots sink into the wet sand. You look back at the ship. It already feels far away. Behind you, the forest stretches for miles. No towns, no farms, no roads, just trees. Thousands of them. This is your new home. You have one job today. Survive the first night. The captain gives orders quickly. Unload the supplies, build shelter, start a fire before sunset. Because once the sun goes down, this place becomes something else.
You carry crates from the boat, flour, tools, seeds, a few muskets, a barrel of gunpowder. Everything your future depends on fits into a few wooden boxes. You build a rough shelter using sailcloth and planks. It's ugly, but it will keep the rain out, probably. That night, you hear the forest. At first, it's just wind, then branches snapping, something moving, heavy, too heavy to be a deer. Everyone hears it. No one says anything. You grip your musket and stare into the darkness. Whatever's out there is watching you.
The first week is chaos. Half the settlers don't know how to build anything. One man cuts his hand with an axe. Another gets sick from bad water. 2 people argue over food. Everyone is tired. Everyone is scared. But the real problem appears on day 9, food. The supplies are already running low. The captain did the math. The rations will last 2 months, maybe 3 if you're careful. But winter here lasts longer than that, much longer. You begin exploring. 3 men walk into the forest every morning. 3 men return every night, usually. One day they come back running. Someone followed them, not an animal, people. They saw shadows between the trees, watching, keeping distance. You realize something important. You are not alone here.
A few days later, you finally see them. 3 figures appear near the edge of the trees. They stand silently, no weapons raised, just watching. Their faces show no emotion. You raise your musket slowly. One of them raises his hand. A simple gesture. Peace. Neither side moves closer. After a minute, they disappear back into the forest, just like that. Summer passes quickly. You build houses, cut trees, plant crops. You start believing something dangerous. Maybe this will work. Maybe the colony will survive. Then the sickness begins.
No one knows where it came from. The first man develops a fever. 2 days later, he's dead. Then another. Then another. Within a month, half the colony is sick. The graves appear faster than the houses. Some nights you dig 3, some nights 5. You stop writing names on the crosses. There are too many. By winter, only half the settlers remain. Food is nearly gone. The river freezes. Snow covers the fields. Hunger becomes the new routine. People stop talking about the future. They only talk about tomorrow.
One night, someone steals food, just a small bag of corn, but it changes everything. Trust disappears instantly. Neighbors begin watching each other. Locks appear on supply chests. Everyone sleeps with a weapon nearby. You thought the forest was the danger. Now you're not sure. Then something unexpected happens. A man walks into the colony, alone. He speaks English. Not perfectly, but well enough. His name is Samoset. You stare at him in shock.
an indigenous man, greeting you in your own language. He smiles calmly. "Welcome," he says. Just one word, but it changes everything.
Through him, you meet another man, Squanto. He teaches you things you never would have figured out. How to plant corn in this soil, how to catch fish in the river, how to find fresh water. Without him, the colony would die. You know it. Everyone knows it. Spring arrives. For the first time in months, you feel hope. The crops grow, the hunting improves, the colony slowly recovers. More ships arrive, more settlers, more supplies. The small settlement becomes something bigger, a real town. You think the worst is over. You're wrong. Years pass. More land is cleared, more farms appear, but the forest never disappears. It simply moves farther away. And the people who once helped you survive begin to distrust you. At first, it's small things, arguments over land, disputes over hunting areas, broken agreements. Each problem seems small until one night everything explodes. The attack begins just after midnight. Arrows slam into the wooden walls. People scream. Houses catch fire. You grab your musket and run outside. The entire colony is awake. Smoke fills the air. The battle lasts 10 minutes, but the damage is done. 6 colonists are dead, 2 children missing, several buildings burned. The message is clear. This land is not yours. The years that follow are harder. More violence, more fear. The colony survives, but it changes. The hopeful dream you arrived with slowly disappears. In its place grows something else, a fight for control. 30 years later, the settlement looks completely different. Stone buildings, busy streets, ships arriving every week. Thousands of people now live here. Children run along roads where forests once stood. You walk down to the shore where you first arrived. The same beach, the same ocean, but everything else is different.
A young settler approaches you. He asks a simple question. What was it like in the beginning? You think about the storms, the hunger, the graves, the fear in the forest at night. You think about the people who helped you survive and the ones who never made it through the first winter. Finally, you answer. It was harder than anyone will ever understand. The young man laughs. He thinks you're exaggerating. Most people do, because they only see the town that exists now. They don't see the graves underneath it.
As the sun sets, you watch the forest in the distance. Even after all these years, it still feels alive, still watching, still remembering. You realize something important. The first colonists didn't conquer this land. They endured it. Every winter, every harvest, every war. Survival was never guaranteed. It had to be earned again and again.
And somehow, against storms, against hunger, against everything this continent threw at you, you survived long enough to see the world change. But sometimes you wonder, if you could go back to that first morning, standing on the deck, seeing the endless forest for the first time, knowing everything that would follow, would you still step onto that shore?